Hi there, welcome back to What the Flick. Christy and Alonso and Matt, we are all still here, and we have some home movie recommendations for you this weekend. If you
My trip to the Grand Canyon. You said home movie recommendations. So
Home video, what did I mean to say? There is stuff you can watch from the comfort of your own home without paying $17 at the movie theater like we do here in Los Angeles. So in case you don't want to go see Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, there's another giant creature extravaganza that you can watch that Matt's going to recommend to you.
Yeah, my recommendation for this week is Pacific Rim Uprising. It's the sequel to the great Guillermo del Toro movie. This one is not quite as good. John Boyega stars as the son of Stacker Pentecost. Come on, that name's amazing.
It is an amazing name.
say it loud and it's almost like praying.
John
It's
Boyega
like an
is
anagram. It's
right.
not even like a
He's
real
a bit of a
name.
hustler. He ends up being part of the Jaeger program. Scott Eastwood is in this as somebody who's a little bit more of a veteran, a little bit more straight-laced. They have to get the Jaegers back together because there may or may not be another threat from these giant kaiju. And then it turns out Charlie Day may be connected to him. This movie is not nearly as sharp, but you know it kind of does exactly what it says on the box. You got giant robots fighting each other. They fight the kaiju in this. Sometimes hybrids of kaiju and Jaegers. I thought this was fun. It's not wonderful, but it's just exactly what it needs to be. It's got just enough action and kind of a good time. It's only 43% on the tomato meter, so it's, you know, don't go looking for something particularly deep here, but I had a good time and I would recommend it.
I like that you're going out on a limb and recommending a movie that nobody liked.
That's not nobody. That's almost half.
I didn't hate it.
People were tepid
That's
about it.
almost half.
It's
so glass half full of
perfectly
you.
dopey, you know.
I recall that the big climax in the snow was cool, right?
Right.
If
That
I'm
rings a
remembering this
bell.
correctly, are there like kaiju and robots that like have to climb up a giant Japanese mountain? And is it Mount
yes,
Fuji?
Yes,
That
yes.
rings a bell.
Yes, they were gonna. Yes,
Like I
Don't
know
spoil
I
it.
saw this movie. I'm looking at the clips going, oh, yeah,
yes.
I,
Oh
yeah, I
yes.
think I
There's a
saw
big
this.
fight on Mount Fuji at the end.
Yeah.
Is it just that anybody who follows in the footsteps of Guillermo del Toro is doomed? Is that part of it that
Maybe.
nobody could possibly have
You know what?
matched the artistry and fun
One
of it?
thing I do remember this movie is that I could make out what was actually happening
That's
more
true.
than I could in the first Pacific Rim,
First one's dark.
which was so dark and like underwater and nighttime and raining. I was like, I want to see giant robots fighting giant monsters and I can't see them. And in this movie, I can at least see them.
So that's Alonso's review. You can see it whether you want to or not.
I think we actually reviewed this thing.
We did.
You
We
could,
did.
Yeah, you could dig that up if you
Go
wanted.
find it. We had thoughts back when it came out. Back in what month was that? A while
Years
ago.
ago.
A while ago.
Okay.
It was
February?
March.
March.
All right.
A lifetime ago.
I know. Who
What
can remember?
What is yours?
Mine is a 1960 musical comedy with Marilyn Monroe and Yves Montand called Let's Make Love, directed by George Cukor. This was back when we didn't all hate billionaires. Yves Montand plays a super rich guy who is the butt of the joke in a satirical off-Broadway review, and he tries to shut it down. But when he goes to rehearsal, he sees Marilyn and has a change of heart, and then winds up getting cast in the show because he looks so much like the millionaire Waka Waka. It's, you know, wackiness ensues, but it's charming and it's Marilyn Monroe and it's her last musical comedy. And you know, there's a charming sense of silliness to it. You can kind of tell that Yves Montand couldn't speak English, but what the heck? You know, and it's George Cukor, and it's got all the Tony Randall is in it as sort of the futzy publicist guy. There's some funny cameos from Gene Kelly and Bing Crosby and Milton Berle, who teach the millionaire how to dance, sing, and be funny, respectively. Cole Porter songs, you know, it is a frothy little bonbon. But Twilight Time is putting it out, and they are a cool label that does some really interesting, you know, like deep cut kind of classics. And this is one of their latest ones, so check it out.
Where does this compare to like How to Marry a Millionaire? Or
It's about on
Some Like
par
It
with
Hot.
How to Marry a Millionaire. It's not quite as good as Some Like It Hot, but it's, you know, there's a lot of Marilyn Monroe movies that are kind of like whatever, but you just want to see her, you know, and then this maybe is in the upper echelon of that category. But you know, it's a perfect. This is the kind of movie that I would watch on TV on a Sunday afternoon when the one channel that wasn't showing football would be showing something like this. That was my childhood.
This is what we call alternative programming. There were
Exactly.
3 channels. You had to get up from the couch and turn the TV knob. Okay, mine is Unsane. which we reviewed a few months ago. You can go check out our full review. It stars Claire Foy from The Crown. There she is. This is one of Steven Soderbergh's sort of experimental little larks. He shot it on an iPhone 7 Plus, for better and for worse. And so it achieves a great deal of intimacy, but also the look of it and the lighting sort of give it like an off-kilter kind of sense of dread from the very beginning. So Claire Foy goes to see a therapist and talks about feeling depressed and talks about maybe she has thought about killing herself at times. And instead of being able to leave the place where she has seen the therapist, she now has to get checked in by accident. She thinks she's just going for an evaluation and they lock the door on her and they check her in, they force her to stay. And increasingly, you don't know whether she truly is insane or whether she is the victim of a larger scheme. There was an ex somewhere who might have been stalking her and might have been the cause of a great deal of the trauma that she is suffering currently. And you don't know who's telling the truth, and you don't know who is crazy. And she tries to call the police and say to them, I'm not crazy, I'm being held here against my will. And of course they get that call all the time. And the more the walls close in on her and the more the system like squeezes her, the crazier she acts, right? And so it's playing tricks on you. The way she's confused, we are also confused, and it's pretty quick and fun, not fun, but like thrilling and confusing.
Great
It keeps you on your
performance.
toes.
Great performance from Foy in this.
Yeah.
Right. Look, she's chewing the scenery in some places, but it totally works for this character. I like this one a lot.
I do too, and Gino Temple is in it, and Amy Irving, and Joshua Leonard is in it. And one thing that's so great about Claire Foy here, I had never seen The Crown, so I cannot speak to how great she is.
You haven't watched The Crown?
There's a lot of TV that I haven't watched. I woke up at 4:30 this morning to watch Sweden and South Korea in the World Cup, but no, I have not watched The Crown.
You would like The Crown.
Would I? Okay, cool.
Trust me.
I will go play catch up with it. But one thing that's so great about her in this role is that her character is so smart and she's so canny that she figures out who she needs to be in every single situation to try to manipulate each person she's with. So she can be really capable and really polished and really confident, or she can be kind of little girlish and trying to manipulate people by seeming weak and vulnerable. And then she can just lash out because increasingly she just gets frustrated and angry and just acts crazy. So of course they think she's crazy, or is she? So keep you on your toes the whole time. So we like all these movies. So Unsane and
Let's Make Love.
And
Pacific Rim Uprising.
We have a wide variety of home video choices for you.
That's what you call a gamut, ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen.
a veritable
for everybody.
smorgasbord.